Lebih pressure ialah masa tu rugby was the first time ever dipertandingkan dalam Commonwealth Game ever. Nick Azmi, Datuk Nick Azmi. Okay. Former MRU Secretary General. Kita panggil dia Bull lah. Bull, I kenal dia lama. Dulu dia involved dengan Anchorman, KL Rugby, especially whatever. He called me out and said, Jamal, since you have done the Commonwealth Game and it was very successful, why not you buat Malaysia 7? He was the one. Saya jaga Jamie Scott bagi nak gila. Kita tahu that's the key point. Dia punya report will determine whether we get the World Series or not.
Understand.
To be the host of the Rugby World Cup 7 2005.
Okay.
Kalau dapat tu, kita dah capai 5 objektif kita.
Selamat datang, Haji.
Selamat datang.
Podcast rugby yang bertajuk Pod Rugby.
Episod pertama.
So, first, as an introduction, podcast rugby yang dipanggil Pod Rugby ni, dia punya matlamat ni is actually to give voice to rugby lah, basically. Haji maksudnya kita bagi platform untuk komuniti rugby, sesiapa saja, untuk mengambil bahagian sebagai pendengar dan juga sebagai contributor, dari segi mungkin memberikan penjelasan tentang apa-apa isu. So at least Pod Rugby ni will be a platform untuk komuniti rugby mendapat both side of the story lah, basically. It's not for us to make judgement, not for us untuk buat keputusan, dan it's not for us to at the end of the day menuding jari. It's just a platform that give voice to rugby lah. Semua community rugby, and saya rasa as long as you care pasal rugby, kan, tak kisahlah mak bapak ke player ke apa-apa saja, you should partake lah.
Yalah, kadang-kadang dalam perbincangan tu, dalam dialog, not a debate, kita tak lari daripada ada cerita tentang siapa orang yang bertanggungjawab. Which you cannot run away from that.
Betul.
But we try to, kata orang tu, bagi a balance sort of presentation or discussion. So at the end of the day, yang buat keputusan ni ialah the viewers lah.
Yeah.
The viewers will decide, will make a decision ataupun make a conclusion on their own. We should not, kita di sini should not sort of bagi satu conclusion, what we present the case lah, or the issues, or the news, especially the hot news. Bila kita hot news, of course, it will to a certain extent create some controversy. Okay.
Itu saya rasa kontroversi itu yang saya cakap. Saya rasa at the end of the day, kita nak tak nak, kadang-kadang kita kena sit down and listen
and talk about it,
even dengan orang yang mungkin kita tak agree pun. Tapi let's have a very mature, open platform, kan, yang everybody has a chance to tell their own side of the story lah. And I think that's what Pod Rugby is all about. So it actually to give voice to rugby, and if you care about rugby, you should participate lah dalam podcast ni.
At the moment, the plan is Pod Rugby is to be broadcast every fortnightly, maknanya 2 minggu sekali. Tapi kita tengok macam mana perkembangannya, because this is the first time kita buat, we don't know how it will go or how it will develop. As we go along, kita cuba jemput nanti tetamu-tetamu yang berkaitan. So we have sort of a list of some of the next atau a few guests yang kita sanggup ataupun yang akan datang sebagai tetamu pada podcast ni.
We have a very exciting punya plan lah. So kita look forward lah Haji ya.
Yes,
Untuk Haji. Saya personally dah kenal Haji ni sangat dah.
Sejak sekolah lah.
Lama betul. Dan saya rasa daripada saya kenal Haji dari tahun awal 80s tu, of course tu Haji dah alumni lah kan. Saya rasa
Saya masa tu early 80s saya dah mengajar.
ya. Saya rasa saya kenal Haji of course sebab saya main rugby di sekolah. Dan masa tu saya dah tahu Haji dah memang terlibat dalam rugby lah.
Yep.
Kan? So kalau kita tengok daripada tahun early 80s, mungkin ada viewers dekat luar tu yang kita panggil Gen Z tu, kalau dia dengar 80s tu agaknya dia rasa macam, wih, 80s eh? Dia tak boleh bayang kan 80s tu berapa lama je kan. Jadi mungkin Haji boleh cerita sikit lah kan, penglibatan Haji kan, dalam rugby ni, seberingkas macam mana boleh start, and then dan some iconic event atau pengalaman ke tahun tu Haji kan.
Pengalaman ya.
Haji boleh share kan, to just give kata orang tu a brief overview lah Haji punya ni dalam rugby ni.
Actually saya di sekolah menengah rendah, saya tak main rugby. I was dekat sekolah kat Johor Bahru. Sekolah Menembaki Johor Bahru, SAB.
Itu kira form 1 sampai form 3 tu kira?
Form 1 sampai form 3, form 4 sekejap lah.
Okay.
Lepas masa tu LC. Orang tak pakai lip. Sekarang orang tak tahu apa tu LC.
Betul. Saya sekarang orang SRP pun ada yang
okay. Jadi LCE was SRP dululah. But because at that time saya English medium punya sekolah. So saya main hoki dengan juga sikit bola. Football. Jadi siapa kata saya tak boleh tenang bola tu, dia tak tahu cerita. Saya
sebab tu mungkin tak kekal kat bola.
Yes. Sebab kita masa form 1, form 2, form 3, kita ada klub bola sendiri. Setiap hari Jumaat, Johor hari Jumaat, kita main, ada tim kita orang pergi main friendly game. Bola. Jadi masa tu
itu X-File tu je sebab orang rasa Haji tak tendang bola.
Ceritanya kita orang training dengan main bola dekat Kampung Custom Johor Bahru. Orang tak tahu. Tahu kalau orang Johor Bahru tahulah Lakin. Okay, now. So every weekend hari Jumaat, we get together, the boys from my class and our tingkatan tu, we main lah, and then we buat friendly game dengan tim-tim kampung lain. Okay, then masa form 4, I was selected for program sekolah menengah sains masa tu, and then in 1974, saya 74 saya pindah ke 75 pindah ke, lupa tu dah lama, pindah ke SMS Selangor first batch. At that time pun tak main rugby lagi. Masa tu kat SMS Selangor baru ada orang main sonok-sonok petang main rugby, gitu-gitu je.
So adalah aktiviti orang sepak-sepak bola lonjong tu.
Ada. Dan budak-budak daripada Star, MCKK, English College, SDA, dia datang sekolah kat SMS, tumpang 3 bulan sebelum dia orang overseas. Dia orang ni dah yang mula rugby kat sekolah tu. Buat itu dia orang budak-budak yang dia panggil dia 3 bulan sebelum pergi overseas.
Ini sebenarnya fakta yang akan membuatkan saya rasa budak Star, budak
claim
dia orang akan, dia kata dia sebenarnya
I agree. Kan? In my dorm, dalam dorm saya ada 3 orang budak MCKK dengan ni. Dan duduk dengan saya dalam bilik saya. Dia orang bayar sikit lah. Dia orang budak-budak MCKK ni bayar lah. Kita masa tu sikit muda-muda kan. Jadi ada angkat lah. Bayar.
Then, so ada lah juga penglibatan Star dengan MC ni.
Ada. Star, MC, English College dengan SDA. They were the group of boys yang kerajaan nak hantar overseas, tapi 3 bulan macam pelayu sekejap, duduk di SMS, lepas 3 bulan dia orang pergi overseas lah.
So diorang yang main.
Dia orang yang main. Pasal dia orang ni tak ada kerja. Dia pun belajar pun. Dia petang turun Padang. Ini dia ajak lah junior main. Then bila saya masuk form 6, baru seriously main rugby, sebab masa tu dah ada coach daripada Scotland, Mr. Gordon. Dia datang, dia mengajar matematik. Antara ramai-ramai Mak Saleh di sekolah tu, dia ajar. So that's when I started main rugby in 76.
Okay.
Then lepas tu sama belajar di UPM, main rugby of course lah, because masa tu saya dah mulakan tim SML Boys, dah main. Then my involved tu permainan tu sampai club lah, and then cuba juga main dengan tim Johor untuk masa dulu Malaya Cup punya team. Tapi tak serius because masa tu sibuk dekat UPM. Bukanlah belajar sangat tapi sibuk masa UPM. And then because
So, saya pun dengar orang cakap play rugby ni, kalau kat UPM tu, dia cakap dia macam, walaupun dia student, saya dengar kalau kat UPM tu, student yang main rugby kat UPM, dia sebenarnya full time rugby player, part time student tu juga.
Betul? Saya pernah ada one time tu, ada main tournament Jona John dekat VI masa tu. Dekat UPM ada exam. Saya pergi kat VI main rugby.
Macam tu
Ada budak, kalau ada budak-budak rugby macam Dr. Naim pun pernah. Dia main tengah kat padang, dekat lecture hall ada test, dia tak ambil.
Itu X-Files tu, Dr.
Orang lain ambilkan dia.
Boleh.
Orang lain buat tulis nama. Lecturer masa tu, satu lecturer jaga 300 orang. Mana nak jaga kan? Jadi that's the system masa dulu lah. Zaman dulu lah, zaman UPM. Masa nama UPM pun Universiti Pertanian Malaysia. Okay. Then of course bila dah keluar daripada UPM, saya got involved dengan SML Boy balik. So that is my kata tu introduction into rugby, pengurusan rugby, club dan sebagainya. And then I joined, elected as a committee member of Selangor Rugby Union in the early 80s. Then in 1993, I was elected as the director.
Mungkin mention masa dengan Selangor tu, siapa ada iconic figures yang masa tu yang mungkin komuniti rugby, especially yang old-timer boleh ingat?
Arwah Ibrahim Busu, Tan Sri Megat sendiri.
Okay.
And then masa tu Selangor Rugby Union, presiden dia Datuk Wan Putih. Datuk Wan Putih ni was the Selangor State Financial Officer. Jadi dia jaga duit kerajaan negeri Selangor. Of course senang lah Selangor Rugby Union. Apa-apa minta duit dia je lah. Okay. Masa dengan Selangor ni, I was also sometimes jadi manager tim Piala Agong, National Seven, or something. So more into managing team lah. Because by that time I pun kurang berminat untuk main state or higher level because size wise lah. Masa tu player semua besar-besar. And my position was wing forward. Imagine masa tu yang main wing forward, people like Bun Onci.
Yang tinggi tu?
Semua yang besar-besar. Jadi daripada awal kita tak payahlah buang masa. So I played at club level lah.
But you still contribute to rugby, betul?
Ya, maknanya as a player main dekat club level. Masa tu SML Boys was one of the top club in Malaysia. Kita biasa kalahkan NS Wanderers. Masa zaman tu NS Wanderers tak pernah menang dengan SMS Old Boys. In fact, SMS Old Boys pun tahun 94 was the champion of the Guinness Cup, which is actually the best club in Malaysia at that time because tak ada national club. Semua budak-budak masa tu, if I'm not mistaken, kalahkan Cobra in the final. And only 4 club in Malaysia pernah menang Guinness Cup tu. Cobra, Police, Black Hawk and SMS Old Boys. Other club tak pernah menang. Lepas tu lepas SMS menang, lepas tu club tournament tu tak ada lagi. Maknanya dia orang dah risau lah kot. Tim budak-budak muda, budak-budak yang tak berapa ni kan. Okay, anyway. Then in 93, I started to join, I was elected as Director of Development Malaysia Rugby Union under the presidency of Arwah Tan Sri Zamahan. Okay, during that time, one of the main job of MRU was to prepare the team and persiapan untuk 98 Commonwealth Game. It was almost 5-year punya program. Kerajaan, persiapan kerajaan untuk 98 Commonwealth Game was a 5 or 6 years punya project. Macam-macam lah. Then lepas tu, I was still involved dengan MRU and then ikut perkembangannya until I keluar lah. And then saya join balik MRU in 2005-2006 as Director of Competition under Datuk Seri Diraja Syed Razlan.
Balik tadi yang 98 Commonwealth tu, Haji kan? Apa Haji punya sort of like involvement dalam sukan Commonwealth masa tu from rugby punya perspektif?
Okay, dia ada 2 things. Masa 93 tu, masa saya Director of Development MRU, masa tu panggil MRU bukan MR, saya diberi tanggungjawab, ada 2 perkara yang saya ingat highlight dia lah. Satu, saya ditugaskan mulakan program persiapan pasukan Malaysia untuk Commonwealth Game.
National team untuk Commonwealth
Yes,
98 tu lah.
Sukom 98 punya team.
Okay.
So saya did the planning and start implementing daripada mula nak cari player. Kita mula cari player itu dengan masa Sukma di Taiping, Perak masa tu. Dan kita buat dia punya proses lah. Training camp, selection, proses. Dan after the first few months tu, kita start hantar budak-budak ni, the different group ni, kita ada 5-6 squad, hantar overseas tournament. Pergi luar. And I was also the team manager for the first Sukom 98 punya team pergi ke UK tour.
For the team, as part of the team
Team lah,
tadi.
yes. And then after 93, saya resign from MRU.
Okay.
So the project tu diambil alih oleh orang lain lah.
Okay.
Then in 96 or 7, I was roped into Sukom 98 Berhad to organize the Commonwealth Game.
Okay.
My role was as the venue manager, but I double up as the sports manager to run the Commonwealth Game. Until the Commonwealth Game itself, saya run the Commonwealth Game for rugby at the stadium, MPPJ Stadium.
So you move from a position in MRU dalam membentuk national team untuk Sukom tu kepada a role within the organisation of Sukom 98.
Yes.
Tapi focusing on rugby punya venue and everything lah. Yeah.
Masa tu running of the Commonwealth Game in 98 is not by the government. It's not by the Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. It was handled by Sukom 98 Berhad, a company formed specifically to organize the Commonwealth Game.
Is the transition susah ke, Haji? Atau you transit daripada focusing on developing the national team, but now you jump into, to me, I think it's a bigger role. Because once you take care of the venue, there's a lot more things yang nak kena fikir lah kan. Kau tahu tu, because it's going to be international event. Yes. You nak kena manage the international team yang datang.
Memanglah the responsibility tu jauh beza. Bukan saja jaga venue. I was doubling up as a sports manager sebab masa tu sports manager was Arwah Manotan. He was missing in action for 2 weeks. So I had to cover dia punya area. Basically the two of us organised the rugby competition of the Commonwealth Game, and yang lebih pressure was the first time ever dipertandingkan dalam Commonwealth Game ever. Sebelum tu tak ada.
Oh ya ke?
Jadi masa
Commonwealth country pun
tak ada.
Only 98 baru ada.
Yes. And masa tu ada if I'm not mistaken, ada 3 team sport yang introduced into Commonwealth Game. Sebab before 98, the Commonwealth Game semua individual sport.
Oh, alright. Okay, faham.
So masa tu OCM under Tan Sri Tengku Imran push for cricket, hockey and rugby.
Team sport lah.
Team sport. And kita did for the hockey we went into the final. Orang tak tahu. Commonwealth Game in KL, hockey was in the final Malaysia. Cricket I'm not sure. Rugby tak menang. Tapi did quite well. Ada menang 3 game ke ya.
Tapi from a showcase point of view, saya tengok masa tu. Saya rasa masa tu I think penuh lah.
Okay.
Stadium
nak cerita tu, the ticket sold. Actually tiket dia orang jual masa tu 3 hari ni dia pecah-pecah. Hari pertama, hari kedua tu tak penuh. Tapi tiket untuk the final tu sold out 2 weeks before the final date. And rugby was the first sport yang habis. The first 3 days tu rugby jalan dulu. And the stadium tu, Stadium Kelana Jaya ni kalau on paper capacity is only about 20,000.
Okay.
Untuk Commonwealth Game tu kita orang calculate lah. Ada dalam 30,000. Sebab bila dah tiket sold out, orang kat luar stadium masa hari final tu beratur kat luar tempat entrance gate tu. So kita orang lepaskan. Tapi masukkan.
The final day tu, kalau saya tak silap, I think kita Perdana Menteri masa tu, Mahathir, if I'm not mistaken, dia attend kan?
Tak, not the final day. He came hari kedua kan. If I'm not mistaken, hari kedua, not the final game.
Okay.
Because dia pergi ke Shah Alam.
Fiji punya ambassador or something like that.
No, yang datang 3 hari untuk turut tu, the president of Fiji, Rabuka. He was there every day dan kerja saya jaga dia. Because as the venue manager, my job is to look after bila ada VIP datang. Bila masa tu Datuk Seri Mahathir lah, bila Tuan ni, dia datang, he came from boxing. Support Biki final menang. Habis menang, dia bagi medal, dia came to Kelana Jaya. Ikutkan jadual, he was supposed to be half an hour. Lepas tu dia pergi venue lain. But because masa tu dia datang, tim Malaysia menang dengan Kenya. Menang dengan Kenya. He was so happy, he stayed for 2 hours. Tapi penat saya lah, jaga dia 2 jam.
Dah 2 orang, lepas tu bukan dia saja kan. Lepas tu yang apa?
Rabuka.
Lagi.
And masa Rabuka dekat stadium tu, ada one of the days, dia punya birthday. So I instructed the...
saya remember the whole stadium.
Yes. Rabuka punya birthday. Rabuka punya birthday. So I told the MC masa tu, sekarang ni I think dah pension general, one of the Air Force punya general. So dia announce buat so the stadium nyanyikan birthday pada dia. Lagu birthday song.
Saya punya suara ada sikit dalam tu. Dan saya juga ingat, if I'm not mistaken, that keluar dekat surat khabar, venue rugby was dubbed the most happening venue sepanjang Sukan Commonwealth masa tu.
Betul.
Kan?
Okay. dia gini, on the first day, which is hari Jumaat, sebelah pagi tu, dia ada banyak foreign visitors. Saya pun tak aware sebab saya as venue manager masa tu pening kepala lah, tengah sibuk nak make sure everything is jalan lancar kan. The next day, petang tu, one of a volunteer beritahu, Jamal, ni ada insiden. Insiden apa? Ada group, I think 4 ke 5 orang perempuan daripada Hong Kong. Mak Saleh. Daripada Hong Kong, dia berdiri dekat grandstand tu, dia buka baju dia, t-shirt dia. Oh yes. Nampaklah dia punya...
Okeylah.
Itulah, whatever lah.
Tunjuk je lah.
Jadi, the next day, keluar dalam paper. Because kita under Sukom 98 ni, every day ada meeting dengan top management dekat Bukit Jalil. So, when I went to the meeting room, bila masuk saja, dia orang tengok, dia orang gelak dekat saya. And then, masa tu kita punya COO, General Manap. Masuk dia, Jamal dia. Well done. Apa hal well done Datuk kan? General Datuk mana? Dia tunjuk apa? Well done. Dia kata, this is what you want, biar publicity. Besoknya, jadi orang pun, ni lah. Jadi, dekat stadium tu, the point is, bila rugby at that the highest level lah.
Betul.
Tim yang datang tu masa tu, Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, semua tim-tim yang kuat-kuat.
The players, the likes of Jonah Lomu, Serevi semua kan.
All Black, dia ambil player, the best player. Daripada 15, main. Because they all wanted to be the first gold medal winner of the Commonwealth game. Okay. Orang World, masa tu IRB bukan World Rugby, datang kat stadium tu. Ada one of the pegawai tu, we didn't even know he was there. Dia duduk dekat spectator, bawa open stand. Lepas tu dia cerita. He was there during the final. So, the whole idea was to create the attraction of rugby. Of course, ada orang bising lah. And then at the rugby venue, masa tu, beer was sold. Hari pertama dekat stadium, beer sold out. So I told masa tu, if I'm Mr. Carlsberg, besok you kena bawa lebih. Not that, I got nothing, I got no this moral thing about beer, but it's the instruction. Because beer can be sold, because it's the Sukom punya ni, because they were following the international requirement and standard. Bila buat Commonwealth game, kita tak boleh kata ni tak boleh, ni tak boleh. Because kalau dia tak boleh, daripada awal jangan jadi tuan rumah. So bila dah jadi ni, kena ikut. Our job is to do that, and then kita kata make sure that beer tu bukannya jual kat stand. Beer tu jual kat belakang. A bit, ini cerita beer lah. Anyway, itulah cerita Commonwealth game. So after that, after the tu, I pun dah tak involved dengan ni. So then, privately, we started the Malaysia 7, targeting to get as the World 7 Series masa tu lah. In 2000.
Saya ini satu lagi exciting topik dari segi haji punya level of involvement, especially at the national level. I think kita kita ambil short break je sekejap then lepas ni kita akan continue untuk haji kita nak dengar lah je sebab World 7 Series tu semua kan. Tadi Haji dah
Mention.
share pasal Haji punya pengalaman handle
Malaysia Seven.
international event lah dengan melalui Commonwealth Game 98. Saya ingat masa tu memang kita panggil the title was Com 98 kan Haji kan? Okay. So mungkin Haji boleh share juga kita daripada you organize Commonwealth Game tu, apa Haji punya next way forward after that?
Okay. I believe everybody yang kat stadium tu, masa kat Commonwealth Game tu, rugby punya event. Commonwealth Game tu banyak sport. Habis Commonwealth Game, 1 week after the Commonwealth Game, I was approached by Datuk Nick Azmi, former MRU Secretary General. Kita panggil dia Bull lah. Bull, I kenal dia lama. Dulu dia involved dengan Anchorman, KL Rugby, Express, whatever. He called me out and said, Jamal, since you have done the Commonwealth Game and it was very successful, why not you buat Malaysia 7? He was the one.
So he just called it Malaysia 7 masa tu?
Yeah, he was the one who said, he named the tournament Malaysia 7. Not MRU, it's from Nick Azmi, Bull.
So maksudnya, masa tu pun, when he mentioned Malaysia 7, so memang he's already sort of like referring yang the World 7 Series to bring to...
No, it was not that. He was saying that, Jamal, you dah ni, you organize the Malaysia 7, kita buat international tournament as the follow-up of the Commonwealth Game.
Yeah, I think even from Nick Azmi point of view, dia mungkin ada kat situ. Saya pun ada kat situ. Saya rasa one of the thing macam tu we can agree that the appetite
rugby, they want to see an international, a real international, bukannya Asian saja.
Bukan Asian saja.
Okay.
It's there lah.
Yeah. And then he do cakap, Jamal, I will give you a dormant company to organize it. Then saya fikir balik, lepas korang ni apa nak buat, tak ada, there was no plan kata nak buat something. Jadi bila dia bagi idea tu, why not kan? So I take up the offer. Then I kata okay. Dia bagi I satu dormant company lah. Mana kita tak payah set up company, dia kata tukar nama company tu to Rugby Event and Promotion. Dia yang bagi nama company tu. Ambil. So kita buat. So then I buat a proposal to MRU.
Okay.
To MRU masa tu, zaman tu presiden dia was Datuk Talat. Okay. Datuk Talat took over from Tan Sri Zamahan as president. Datuk Talat masa tu was the Datuk Bandar Ipoh.
Okay.
So I presented the proposal, idea of organising an international 7 tournament in Malaysia. Namakan tournament tu Malaysia 7. Bukan MRU yang bagi nama. Ada Nick Azmi. So I follow up lah. My job is, I memang selalu gitu. I kerja I jadi babysitter. Baby orang lain kita buat. Okay, tak apa.
Implementer je.
Okay. Then ada objektif dia. Under the Malaysia 7 punya proposal, ada 5 objektif.
Okay.
Pertama nak buat international tournament.
Okay.
International tournament. Nombor 2 nak dapatkan World 7 Series.
So what is the definition of international tournament masa tu? Apa envision? I mean kalau adakah setakat panggil tim dari Thailand je
no.
Ataupun at what level of international?
Similar to the Commonwealth Game.
Okay. Maknanya memang level All Black hantar tim, Fiji hantar tim. Lepas tu kalau All Black hantar bukan tim bawah 18
Betul. Yeah. Okay, so that was the idea when I spoke. I went to see Nick Azmi. Because masa tu Nick Azmi was the business manager for Tengku Razali.
Okay.
I had meeting dengan dia dekat rumah Tengku Razali because his office was there dekat Jalan Yutan. So we discussed a few things, the idea, okay, I take up the idea there. So the point macam I kata, the objective was to be on the World Series. Eventually, last kali is to be host of the Rugby World Cup in 2005.
World Cup 7 ataupun?
World Cup 7.
World Cup 7 lah.
Yang sebelum tu kat Hong Kong. And then the second one was dekat Argentina. So 2005 was the third World Cup. Tapi masa tu, when we started this project, Malaysia 7 project, it was in 1999.
So the company was set up with a starting point and also a goal to achieve.
Yes. Dia ada hala tuju. That's why I kata, everything that you do, there must be a hala tuju. Then everything else work backward balik. So masa tu, Datuk Talat was very open-minded, very supportive because he could see where it will lead to. Bila ada tournament macam itu, the Malaysian team will get all the side benefit lah, macam preparation dan sebagainya, and the competition dan sebagainya. Exposure, yeah. That's it. So we set about doing it. That's why in 1999, I went to London for the Rugby World Cup semi-final. So that's part of it. And I also went to Hong Kong 7.
Itu yang All Black kena upset tu kan?
Yes. Masa tu cerita tu memang banyak lah. That one we can talk later in another episode.
Sebagai penyokong tegar All Black. Okay, teruskan.
Okay. Then, bila kita buat tu, I started communicating with the international board. IRB.
Okay.
We are not talking about World Rugby. Masa tu tak lagi. So we discuss. Macam mana pun, masa I jumpa dia orang di Dubai. Dubai 7, I went to Dubai 7 just for the meeting with the committee that look after the sevens in IRB.
So can I say, you punya network with IRB tu is actually as a continuation daripada Sukom.
Yes. Kan? Because we develop our networking masa Commonwealth Game. Because international board was involved in Commonwealth Game. Because they are the controlling body. Okay, so when I met them, the committee that looks after 7, I told them, irrespective of they not giving Malaysia 7 the status of World 7 Series, I still go ahead. Yeah. And I sent invitation to all the countries, Samoa, Fiji, New Zealand. I sent out the invitation before I met international board. You know what they say dekat Dubai? They said, Jamal, we cannot give you the World Series this year because your Malaysia 7 is the first time that you're organizing it. We don't know your ability to organize. Itu dia kata, we have sent an instruction to New Zealand All Black not to take part in your tournament.
Okay.
Dia bukan saya pun tak, dia kata no. Because dia kata, kalau Fiji dengan New Zealand datang, the Malaysia 7 is as good as a World Series. Okay, but
so actually dia bukanlah dia
tak nak bagi.
Tidak.
So dia nak tengok dulu.
Yeah.
So I kata, okay fine, I'm good with it.
Rational lah.
Then dia kata, if you organize the Malaysia 7 that year in 2000, well, then the next year we will give you the World Series.
Okay.
That's the first deal lah. Okay, number one. Lepas tu dia nak ambil hati, dia kata, okay look, we will give the Malaysia 7 2000 as the Asian qualifier to the Rugby World Cup 7.
Oh, okay. So it's sort of like a tax break lah.
Dia kata, tak apa. So maknanya, the first Malaysia 7 that we organized in 2000, ada dua function. Satu Malaysia 7 itself, and others pula, dia Asian qualifier for the Rugby World Cup for the Asian countries.
Okay.
So the mechanism is that the Asian countries that take part dalam Malaysia 7, dia akan main dengan tim-tim luar. Tapi the best team from Asia will qualify for the Rugby World Cup 7, if I'm not mistaken, masa tu di Argentina. Masa tournament yang the first tournament was in 2000. So bila balik kata, I tak give up lagi tim-tim yang kuat sebab that is the main attraction. You have to have the main attraction. Yeah, so what I did was during bulan puasa, I went to see the Fiji High Commissioner dekat Jalan Ampang, dekat embassy dia, belakang Maya Hotel. Okay, pergi bulan puasa, jumpa masa tu High Commissioner ni, perempuan tu siapa nama dia, jumpa cerita dia. You know what she said? Jamal, don't worry. The president of the Fiji Rugby Union is my uncle. I will guarantee you Fiji will come. Lepas tu, masa tengah meeting tu, dia bawa kek. Christmas cake. Dia Excellency, sorry, I'm fasting. Oh, dia punya, ni yang cerita lawak lah. But, the point is, the first Malaysia 7, Fiji came, and they were, of course, dia menang lah. All Black tak ada. World IRB tak boleh buat apa.
So, maksudnya masa the first Malaysia 7 tu, which is not part of the
World
Series, tapi it's a qualifier. Even that also, Fiji ada.
Yeah, I think final tu Fiji dengan Samoa or something.
Oh, Samoa pun ada juga lah.
Yang IRB tak nak Fiji dengan New Zealand. Tak masa tu, this are the two.
Yalah, betul lah.
Jadi, okay, habis tournament tu. And then masa during the Malaysia 7 2000 tu, International buat hantar seorang wakil, technical delegate. Okay, yang daripada New Zealand. Sorry, daripada Hong Kong. Jamie Scott. Saya jaga Jamie Scott bagi nak gila. Sebab kita tahu that's the key point. Dia punya report will determine whether we get the World Series or not.
Understand.
Jaga dia bagi nak gila mah. Yang bagusnya Jamie Scott ni on tour, dia kerja Justice Department dekat Hong Kong. Dia ni senang nak jaga. Tak mabuk, tak senang je. Belanja, jaga makan ni okey. Habis tournament petang Ahad tu, dia datang jumpa. Jamal,
It's on.
congratulations, you are going to get the World Series. Well done. Saya pun diam je. That news, saya simpan rahsia. Simpan, tak ada orang tahu.
Sebab apa ni?
Ada sebab, masa kita buat Malaysia 7 ni, ada a few people yang haters.
Okay.
Yang
Haters will be haters lah.
Dia nak tengok yang kita fail. Tapi yang the good part, 98% orang rugby di Malaysia, orang daripada Black Hawk, Police, Selangor Club, semua support. Ada 2-3 group ya. Club especially masa tu yang tak setuju, yang bukan tak setuju. Dia nak datang tengok tapi behind dia duk kutuk dia. Sampai kan ada satu orang tu datang jumpa saya lepas tournament dia. Jamal, you're not going to get the World Series. Okay. Tapi saya dah tahu, I'm getting it. Jadi saya gelak, okay. Let's see. Kita tak ada official ni lagi.
Ni agak X-File ni.
Memang banyak X-File. Dia banyak X-File. So benda ni kalau saya namakan orang tu still involved dalam rugby sekarang. Tapi that's how dia punya attitude. Because they were organizing before that international tournament juga, but turn aside. You know lah mana datang. So that group bukan Tan Sri. Tan Sri was very good. But adalah group dia cakap tu depan saya. So saya kata okay, that's what. Dia tak tahu yang saya punya lobby pusing. Orang kata saya makan angin. Saya pergi New Zealand 7 dekat Wellington. Saya pergi Dubai 7. Saya pergi Hong Kong 7. Ini semua saya pergi. Saya memang jumpa orang World Rugby yang jaga 7 series. So bila dah benda tu, dapatlah World Series. So then kita organize the World Series 2001, 2002. Malaysia 7 was part of the World Series. Masa tu Singapore tak ada lagi. In 2001, Malaysia was the only Southeast Asia country yang ada league tu. Masa tu yang dia link the World Series ni, dia link to another one. Jadi tim datang, dia dapat tournament pergi. Masa tu Malaysia was linked to Japan 7. Sekarang tak ada. Main kat Malaysia.
It's also part of the
Yes. Sorry kan. Mula-mula Malaysia dengan Hong Kong.
Okay.
Malaysia, orang datang kat Malaysia dulu main, minggu depan dia pergi Hong Kong.
Okay.
The second year in 2002, Malaysia dengan Japan. Japan pula sebab dia nak ambil awal player tim-tim yang kuat ni, dia tak semua tim dia ambil dulu. Sebab hal dia suruh stay in Malaysia, dia bayar. So they pay us 400,000 ada dalam 7 tim. Lepas Malaysia 7 stay in KL, hari Khamis tu baru pergi Jepun. Kita habis Malaysia 7 hari Ahad. So Senin, Selasa, Rabu, Khamis, 4 hari for 8 tim ni. Dia sanggup bayar 400,000 dia. And that again lagi murah daripada dia ambil letak kat Tokyo.
Ya. I can imagine Tokyo.
So that was part of the revenue kita dapat lah. Of course dia duduk hotel, kita kena sediakan training venue dan sebagainya.
So diorang kena continue training diorang kan.
That's why sekarang ni pun dia orang selalu buat, dia akan pair. After 2001, bila Singapore tengok Malaysia ni dah ni, dia orang sibuk lah nak masuk. Baru dah orang dapat.
Singapore biasa kan.
Dia tak puas hati lah.
Dia tak puas hati, tak kisahlah pasal makanan ke apa ke, dia akan lepas tu dia ambil.
Yang satu lagi interesting point, bila Singapore buat, saya pergi sana. Masuk sana, dia orang letak saya dekat VIP booth dia kan. Bila masuk saya, dia kata, this is the guy that we should get for Singapore 7. Dia kata, sorry tak boleh. Sebab dekat sangat kan dengan Malaysia 7, jadi suara kita tak boleh. Jadi benda-benda gitu lah. Jadi that was the interesting part about the outcome daripada Commonwealth Game jadikan Malaysia 7 World Series. But after that, masa tu World Rugby, International Rugby dah duk cerita pasal the Asian 7 Series. Masa tu Asian 7 Series tak ada. They were talking about the Asian 7 Series as the qualifier for the World Series.
Okay.
So they were talking to Malaysia to be one of the Asian 7 Series. Sorry. So saya tak ada, I'm not interested. Because Asian 7 Series ni, as an event, it is not valuable enough. It is not attractive enough to attract the major sponsors. My target was at that time, the Rugby World Cup in 2005. Okay, ni cerita World Cup lah. Ni expire.
Okay. Haji dia menyebut sikit pasal
Rugby World Cup
Rugby
2005.
Rugby World Cup 7 2005 kan. So bila Haji dah menyebut tu, saya rasa dia something yang mungkin kita boleh cerita lah. What happened actually?
Kenapa tak buat?
Kenapa tak buat kan? Adakah kita di offer ke tapi tak di, what happened actually?
Okay, actually dalam kita punya objective for the Malaysia 7 yang mula-mula kita start, the ending dia was Malaysia to be the host of the Rugby World Cup 7 2005.
Okay.
Kalau dapat tu, kita dah capai 5 objektif kita. 4 tu dah capai. World Series everything. So, selepas 2001, the bidding dah buka. Okay. Saya duduk sorang-sorang dekat office tu, event office dekat Sentul. Dekat office partner saya for rugby event promotionnya partner tu, Datuk Sri Ram, who happen also to be the one of the main player masa Korea game. Ticketing, supply, all those. Okay, tak apa. Dia bukan orang rugby pun. Okay. So, saya duduk sorang-sorang. Saya buat proposal sorang-sorang je. Proposal for the bidding of the World Cup Rugby 7. Tak keluar satu sen. Masa tu Malaysia was bidding for the Asian Game.
Okay.
Masa tu lah. Malaysia habis 6 juta nak buat lobbying. Bidding ke. Saya buat tu, just duduk kat komputer buat sendiri. Tak ada staff masa tu pun dah rest lah lepas Malaysia 7 tahun tu. Buat, hantar kat IRB sebab kenal. Saya kenal yang pegawai pegawainya juga, dan saya baik masa tu dengan the late Vernon Pugh. Orang tak kenal siapa. Vernon Pugh ni ialah chairman of World Rugby.
Okay.
Bila dia datang Malaysia untuk Malaysia 7 tu, tu satu lagi. Kita ni jaga dia bagi nak gila. Siap my partner Datuk Seri bagi sebuah kereta BM7 series dia dengan driver, jaga dia. Siap dia bagi duit untuk bawa dia pergi shopping, bukannya belanja, pergi shopping. Jadi saya punya relationship dengan Vernon Pugh was so good. Macam bila saya pergi, lepas tu adalah banyak kali pergi tournament-tournament World Rugby ni dalam proses lobby-lobby yang seterusnya. Bila saya pergi London 7, duduk kat Twickenham, IRB punya box kat atas. Bila pergi Wales dekat Millennium Stadium, duduk kat IRB punya hospitality-nya area. Duduk sebelah, lunch dengan dia. So that was part of the lobbying process. Advantage saya ialah, saya boleh cakap orang putih. Jadi boleh cerita merepek-repek dengan dia.
Okay.
Nasib baik masa tu tak minum lah. Kalau minum tu, tapi dia orang ni, the good part about orang pegawai-pegawai IRB ni, kan tak minum. Minum kat rumah mungkin, tapi dekat stadium tak ada.
Okay.
So that part of it, kita tak payah nak layan lah. So layan lah. Jadi benda tu. Jadi bila buat tu, kita submit our bid. Every day saya telefon London dengan Belfast. Actually Belfast, not London, Belfast. Pukul 8 malam, saya balik rumah, telefon Belfast. Masa tu bil telefon sebulan beribu lah. Proses of lobbying, berbual.
Masa tu kita ada WhatsApp call.
Tak ada. Nasib baik my partner under semua ni kos bawah rugby event.
Okay.
MRT tak ada satu sen pun keluar. Jadi orang tak tahu tu. Orang ingat duit MRT. No, it is all private initiative.
Okay.
Alright. Bila dah buat tu, the turning point was, last kali it was between Malaysia dengan Hong Kong.
Okay.
Vernon Pugh nakkan Malaysia because dia nakkan rugby ni open to new countries. Sebab masa dia datang masa Malaysia 7 kita World Series, dekat stadium tu yang bila final dia tu almost full, and dia tengok majority spectator tu bukan Mak Saleh.
Okay. Which is
Local.
new to him, I suppose.
Dia kata that is what he want, the development of rugby in the host country. Di Singapore yang datang semua Mak Saleh. Dia kata Mak Saleh tu sama juga kalau buat kat New Zealand, Australia sama. So in Malaysia there is that different. Masa buat kat Jepun, masa tu Jepunnya rugby was not attractive lagi. In fact, Jepun stop organising the Japan 7 sebab tak cukup duit. Dia ada main sponsor Volkswagen. Tapi dia tak cukup duit nak organize because the support from the Japanese public tak banyak. Okay, now bila benda tu laku, we were talking so yang pegawai yang jaga siapa nombor saya tak boleh ingat. Dia kata gini, Jamal, if you really want it, dia mesti ada minimum guarantee. macam franchise lah. Minimum guarantee ni ialah guarantee profit kepada World Rugby. So saya tanya dia, ni pasal kawan-kawan situ lah. If you want it, if Malaysia really want it, the minimum guarantee at least 1 million
US.
1 million ringgit.
Oh, okay, tak.
Okay.
Sangat.
Okay. Tak banyak, tak mahal. Tu maknanya whether kita untung atau rugi, minimum kita kena bagi World Rugby 1 million because that is something income to them lah.
Saya cakap, saya ingat 1 million US ke.
Yeah. Tu, saya the next day telefon Datuk Talak. Datuk, ni. Dia, Jamal, boleh tak kita ni? Boleh tu, ya. Gamble lah. Okay. Sebab in my calculation, when you host the Rugby World Cup 7, you're not talking about local sponsor. You're not talking about sponsors 10,000, 2,000 tak ada. You're talking about international sponsor. Okay, nanti saya cerita sikit. Saya cakap Datuk, okay, I will done. Saya telefon Belfast the next day. Okay, we are willing to put up a minimum guarantee of 1 million ringgit. Then I email lah. Masa tu email baru belajar sikit-sikit, baru lagi still anilah hantar. About 1 month later, dapat email. Malaysia dapat first right of refusal jadi host Rugby World Cup 7.
So we actually get
We got the
offer.
We got the offer, tapi dia bagi kita sebulan untuk kita buatkan bank guarantee for that 1 million. Okay? Masa tu sibuk lah cari kan. Masa tu Datuk Isyamuddin was the Minister of Sport. Saya masa sebelum tu pun, masa buat World Series sebelum tu, selalu pergi office dia. Nak pergi jumpa dia pun satu hal, dia punya ketua Setiausaha Sulit Asif ada roadblock kan. Tapi I got a good friend there. Salah seorang daripada Setiausaha Sulit dia, bukannya ketua Setiausaha Sulit dia, Datuk Razali Ibrahim, the former Timbalan Menteri yang dulu ex-minister, ex-MP Muar, pemain rugby di MRSM Melaka.
So rugby ni connection jugalah.
Yes. Kita panggil dia Kit, tolong bila nak jumpa Datuk Isyamuddin, Kit, telefon Kit, nak kena jumpa Datuk lah ni. Okay, aku arrange dia. So that's how our connection, networking is important. At that level lah, jumpa. So the first person kita jumpa, Datuk Isyamuddin.
Just to nak reiterate lah, nak ulang balik. So, kita, your company, start bidding for World Cup
Rugby World Cup 7.
Rugby World Cup 7 2002 to bidding for the Rugby World Cup 7 2005, betul tak?
Yep.
And along the way we actually was offered lah the first right of refusal to host the World Cup Rugby World Cup 7 2005, betul tak?
Yep.
So I think tadi Haji dia mention that you actually managed to jumpa Datuk Isyamuddin, which is also the Menteri Dian Sukan.
Yeah.
So mungkin Haji boleh explain lagi macam mana?
Okay, the moment kita dapatkan the first right of refusal tu, of course saya discuss dengan Datuk Talat, because all this thing was done among a small group of people. There was no discussion with MRU Council ever, because kita tak mau benda ni leak out dulu, because there was a plan in the announcement itself pun. So what we did was, then bila saya bincang dengan Datuk Talat, there was another private company yang willing to support the project, which was Zybase.
Okay.
Because Zybase at that time was trying to get close to Datuk Talat for obvious reason lah, Zybase. Then of course masa tu kita went to see Datuk Isyamuddin dekat office lama KBS di sebelah Bank Negara. So we went there. So we presented the thing. Datuk Isyamuddin was very supportive, because in our letter, that offer letter from World Rugby was, in order for us to proceed to the next stage of the not bidding, masa tu was to accept dia. Dia kata ada dua saja. Satu ialah for that 1 million punya minimum guarantee. Satu is either a government guarantee, maknanya letter from the Ministry of Youth and Sport guaranteeing that the minimum guarantee of. Okay. Jadi masa tu Datuk Isyamuddin punya statement was clear that he cannot issue that letter because in 3 years time he knows that he's not the Minister of Sport anymore.
Okay.
Ni political punya cerita behind the ni lah, kita tak tahu. So dia kata tak boleh. Dia tak boleh keluarkan surat sebab he doesn't want the new Minister of Sport to carry that burden in case anything happen. Macam dia terpaksa carry burden masa tu on the bidding for Asian Game. Okay, tapi masa tu we know that the government dah spend 6 million ringgit to just to bid, tak dapat pun. So dia kata kena buat melalui a private punya backer lah.
Okay.
So masa tu Zybase was willing to give a bank guarantee of 1 million ringgit.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
On the condition, ada certain condition. Okay? Datuk Syahbudin kata he will support the thing, and on top of that dia kata dia akan support to start rakan muda. Maksudnya ada rakan mudanya program. So dia kata dia start rakan muda Rugby 7 to increase the number of volunteers, supporter, whatever, so that the whole idea to fill up the stadium Bukit Jalil. Okay. Subsequent to that, Zybase ni ada second thought. Dia nakkan hitam putih yang the government akan support dia orang dalam whatever lah, sekarang project whatever, which cannot be done. Okay, so the World Cup 7 punya project tu dah mula goyang lah. Because the International Rugby Board bagi kita 30 days to come up with the acceptance and the detail lah. Okay, subsequent to that, I spoke to Datuk Sri Ram, who was my partner in rugby event. Datuk Sri Ram kata he cannot give a bank guarantee, but he will try to get insurance guarantee from his broker in London. They contact London. The insurance broker kat London was willing to give an insurance guarantee for that minimum guarantee of 1 million ringgit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, International Rugby Board tak nak accept insurance guarantee. Okay. So we were pushing. Okay. Along the way, datang pula satu isu lain. Masa tu, the election. MRU election.
MRU election.
Yes. Okay. Dalam election tu, something
election for new president.
New committee, yes.
Okay.
I was not involved in the election, but in the election, something happened. Datuk Tan Lahad terpaksa withdraw.
Okay.
As president.
Okay.
And somebody else become the president. Arwah Haji Jalil. So, masih lagi okey lagi. So, the earlier plan was, kalau Datuk Tan Lahad menang election, he will announce the World Cup 7 punya hosting.
Okay.
That was the big news lah.
Okay.
But then, bila dia terpaksa tidy, cerita ni kita KIV dululah. When the new committee masuk, the first thing that the new committee did was they call us for a meeting with rugby event dengan dia orang. In that meeting, that was the turning point in the whole project. The new committee suruh kita bayar that World 7 Series punya minimum guarantee of 200,000 ringgit, which was actually the responsibility of MRU, securing the right to host the World 7 Series. But tahun sebelum tu, rugby event advance dulu.
Okay.
To cover tu. Sebab dalam deal, this is the deal between rugby event dengan MRU that whatever profit nanti, kita share lah.
Okay.
Sebelum profit ada, then rugby event will advance. Sebelum the year before. But masa tahun tu, bila Datuk Tan Lahad tak ada, that was the deal between us and Datuk Tan Lahad. And later on, kalau ada profit, kita tolak lah. So, masa bila the new committee masuk, they ask us to pay again the minimum guarantee for the 2002 punya World Series.
Which, saya confused. So, adakah sebenarnya minimum guarantee tu already being paid?
Tak, belum. Dia 202 belum. Kita dah bayar 201.
Okay.
So, they all assume that it is a responsibility of the rugby event, which is not the case. The minimum guarantee is the responsibility of the union to get the right to host the World Series.
Was that stipulated somewhere ke yang is actually
Ada. Dalam agreement tu ada.
That is actually
the agreement,
responsibility of the union.
The agreement between rugby event promotion dengan Malaysia Rugby Union.
Oh, okay.
Ada. Because in order to host the World 7 Series, Malaysia will need the right first. To get the right, they have to give a minimum guarantee of 200,000 ringgit.
Okay.
Okay. But for the first year in 2001, rugby event advance kan dulu.
Okay.
Because masa tu tak ada untung.
Faham.
So, kalau ada untung, kita akan tolak untung tu pergi bayar IRB, then the balance MRU ambil lah. So in 72, kita belum bayar lagi. Masa tu it was timing tu dekat lah. So we had a meeting. So rugby event kata okay, we think about it. But dalam meeting tu Datuk Sri Ram, my partner, who is also the main person financing the project, dia tanya if we pay that minimum guarantee on behalf of MRU, which is meaning that rugby event advance, will MRU allow rugby event to run the 203 punya Malaysia 7? So the answer was vague. So bila that thing happened in the meeting, Datuk Sri Ram kata, well, we don't want to pay that minimum guarantee for the World Series because we don't have the guarantee that we're going to run the next year punya event. So bila my financial backer cakap itu, and Datuk Talhat is not there anymore, so kita kata okay, well fine, kita lepaskan lah the opportunity to become host of the Rugby World Cup 7.
Okay, so saya just nak clarification. So the company
Rugby Event Promotion,
Rugby Event exactly doesn't feel that it is worthwhile untuk bayar the 200,000 for
advance 200.
Advance because you are not given guarantee sama ada boleh continue hosting
managing
the 7 series for 203.
Yes.
So how's that relate to the
World Cup
7 Rugby World Cup 7 205 tu?
Okay, eventually if Rugby Event Promotion is not given or not allowed to manage and organize the 203 World 7 series, meaning that in 205 we are not going to be involved in running the Rugby World Cup. So that's the end story dia kan. Jadi Datuk Sri Ram kata, even though the Rugby World Cup ni is something yang kita nak, because Datuk Sri Ram, he could feel our passion of rugby.
Does MRU ever bagi any clarification ke kenapa the change of heart tu? I mean, to me as far as macam saya cakap, even saya and most of the community rugby kat Malaysia ni kan, we enjoyed 2 tahun ni je. And there was I think we enjoyed, kata orang tu, international rugby event at the highest level, even as a spectator lah kan.
Dengan kos yang murah.
Ya, kos murah.
You don't have to pay beribu-ribu pergi Hong Kong.
Pergi ke apa kan, you know. I mean, how many time in your life you boleh nampak Fiona Lomu main kat bawah, the highest level lah. So now and saya rasa it is a no-brainer lah untuk MRU just support, kata orang tu, the continuation of the 7 series, and also untuk Malaysia jadi host Rugby 7 World Cup 2005. So tapi daripada apa yang Haji cakap, nampak macam there's a bit of hesitation daripada,
bukan hesitation, hidden hand.
Hidden hand daripada MRU yang secara peliknya tak nak benda tu happen. So dia ada dua benda. Sebenarnya cerita World Cup 7 tu, the new committee MRU tak tahu langsung. Because daripada awal pun it was a top secret between myself, top management of rugby event, Datuk Sri Ram, Syaiful, and masa tu Datuk Talhat, Suhaimi Zaibis, dan Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. Small group of people yang tahu. Because benda tu pun kita tak nak review pada orang, because benda tak confirm, tak ada betul-betul lagi kita dah nak organize. So the new committee not aware of that there is this joker yang kita nak bawa lah. But okay, putting that aside, to answer your question, you have to understand masa tu, dalam the new committee of MRU masa tu,
dia punya one of the, dia tak panggil exco masa tu, dia panggil committee. One of the committee member used to be, bukan used to be. Dia pernah nak masuk dalam the Malaysia 7 before that.
Okay.
Representing.
In what capacity?
Dia, company dia, kita ada Carlsberg as our sponsor, one of the major sponsor. So his offer is actually less than what Carlsberg is giving.
Okay.
In terms of the cash sponsorship, whatever. So saya beritahu dia tak boleh lah. Because what I'm doing is, whatever sponsorship is for the event, not for me. I don't take beer money. But it's for the event, I ambil lah untuk event. Okay. So benda tu. So, and I got to know from my Singapore sources that dia punya principal is allocating more than what he's offering me.
Okay.
Okay, cerita dia ni sebenarnya, his principal allocated about 600,000 ringgit to come into the Malaysia 7. That's the budget that they have.
Okay.
He offered me 200,000 ringgit cash.
Okay.
Lagi 400,000 dia nak guna konon-konon dia akan organize daripada KBS. So where does the money come from? To run the Malaysia 7 at that time in 2001, 2002, it cost about 4 million ringgit. You can see the pay, and 1 sen pun tak keluar daripada MRU. It all boils down to rugby event cari duit tu from whatever sources lah, ticketing, merchandising, whatever, sponsorship, whatever. So jadi kita perlukan duit cash untuk run the event.
So you say no to the brand
yes.
lah. Okay, so how's that?
Okay, tu number one. Number two, this event, okay. Bila dalam new committee, that person, the managing director of that company, is a committee member.
Okay.
They also organize this event.
Understand.
This company, masa dulu, dia organize a 7-a-side tournament in Malaysia.
Okay.
So, can you fill in the dot?
Okay.
So, bila dia kata tu, pandai kata, dia tak boleh bagi komitmen that says, okay, if you advance the money to IRB, then you will run the Malaysia 7 according to the contract. We have a contract actually. There is a contract, management contract between rugby event and MRU. Bila dealing dengan MRU, I will have contract. Sama juga.
Kontrak ni year by year ataupun
tak,
dia like 5
that 5 years lah.
So kalau kontrak tu hidup lagi,
yeah, we can play hardball lah, tapi kita tak nak lah gaduh. You see?
Oh, okay.
You see, kita tak nak gaduh.
So mana there is a platform lah untuk
yes.
just go back to
because in the contract
pun,
in the contract, that 200,000 MRU punya responsibility.
Yalah, but basically like I said,
yeah,
for just to play hardball by the contract je, apa rugby event and promotion is actually dah guaranteed sepatutnya.
Betul. So the point is this, when we organize the Malaysia 7, it's supposed to be a partnership with Malaysia Rugby Union.
Understand.
Kalau kita bergaduh, in any business, when you start quarreling,
no point lah.
No point lah. We let go because orang kata kalau nak gaduh tu, kita tengok juga at the end. Kalau kita bergaduh, kita nak orang rumah tangga lah. Laki bini bergaduh, tak ke mana pun. Sampai bila kau gaduh, sampai satu masa bercerai juga. Business so, strategi dia lah. This is not organizing a tournament. No. The moment I got the email from World Rugby, you know who called me up from Mumbai? Ni we're talking about not local ni. All international. Mumbai, the managing director of IMG, International Marketing Group. One young single Indian girl. Bollywoodnya. He called me up from Mumbai. Dia kata, Jamal, I understand you got an email from World International Board. Malaysia has been given the first right of refusal to host the Rugby World Cup 7 2005. IMG is ever willing to work with you to get international global sponsor. Dia call pada Mumbai. Siapa nama akan nak? I tanya, where are you now? I'm in Mumbai. When I come back to KL, we will meet up. Okay, yeah. You're talking about sponsorship. It's a global sponsorship tau.
Yeah, it's a global event.
Yes. And we did our calculation. Memang it will make money not only for the event, 50% will go to MRU. And From our
That's in the agreement.
yes.
That 50% will go to MRU.
And for the World Cup, we made a calculation as a very conservative
Figure.
MRU will get about 10 million ringgit.
That's a lot of million.
That was in 2005.
So the thing is yang sort of like macam
We don't want to reveal all these things to the new committee because Dato' Tala is fully aware of all these things. So he look at it as if that thing happen, MRU will have enough funding and the exposure and the
from a rugby community point of view, it doesn't make any difference kau tahu sekarang because it is an opportunity for the rugby as a sport. Ada macam Jamaah ada 7, then now because of certain so-called, I don't know whether you can call it individual interest ke apa ke, the community of rugby basically
that didn't get what
deprived
I totally agree with you, but you must understand when we organize the Malaysia 7 at that level international, we approach it very professionally and on a corporate basis. There is of course the rugby side of it. To make it work, it has to be approached in a professional and corporate manner. You see, I put it this way. The reason why rugby event was willing to let go because we believe there was no sincerity daripada MRU. The new committee. You see, you understand? When there's tak ada keikhlasan dan kejujuran, then why should we go into, we still maintain that shit. So, at the end of the day, yang rugi ialah rugby.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. You see, Dato' Siram kata, why should we put good money into something yang we know that at the end of the day, kita kena monitor, kena make sure because there is tak ada kejujuran. Dengan Dato' Talaan was very good. Kejujuran even during Dato' Talannya masa yang kita deal before daripada tahun 2000 actually 2000 sampai 2002 tu, Dato' Talan pun he was the Datuk Bandar Ipoh. Kita ada committee. The committee is the main committee that supervise. Dia kata, Jamal buat meeting, committee meeting every month hari Jumaat pukul 3 petang. Okey. Saya tanya, Datuk, kenapa nak buat 3? Okey, saya daripada Ipoh, pukul 12 habis, saya naik kereta, saya travel ke KL, saya berhenti along the way, saya sembahyang Jumaat, saya datang. And every meeting, he will come to chair the meeting. Masalahnya, dia dalam komiti tu ada 3 wakil MRU. 3 wakil MRU, 2 wakil event. So, decision making is, satu saya minta, okay, betul lah. Kejujuran tak ada. That's why Datuk Siram decided, no, we don't want to proceed. We don't want to stop, we stop. Where we can, habis. So, itulah macam kata, yang ruginya. So, after that, kita beritahu Rugby that International Rugby Board, since kita guna alasan lah, since you cannot accept insurance guarantee, we cannot get the bank guarantee or the government letter. So, we have to let go of the offer. And International Rugby Board bagi Hong Kong. Kalau remember correctly, Hong Kong kali kedua lah. The first World Cup 7 kat Hong Kong. Second one in Argentina. Then the third one was in Hong Kong balik. Okay. Tu cerita dia. Okay. And I have not told anybody about this story.
Sebab itulah kita ada podcast ni, Haji kan.
Kalau siapa nak check the truth of the story, boleh tanya.
Okay.
Datuk Talan is still alive tau. Ada lagi kat Perak. No, dia semuanya.